All right, party people, what's up? I am here today to talk to you about dropping down with class. So, the first off, basically, just going to give you a few tips on how to get your mindset right with dropping down and where your head should be at. And then I will give you a few tips to implement it into your demos with your customers. So, without further ado, the number one mindset that you want to have, make sure you're taking notes on this, is people are closer to buying than you think. People are always closer to buying than you think. So you need to drop down slowly. There's going to be tons and tons of times where you're in an appointment, or you're at a fair or show, and someone's just like, they just don't have the patience and they just say, "Can I just buy these two knives?" It's like, and then you want to figure out where to go from there. And the answer is obviously yes, but there's tons of other options that they don't know about that are probably better for them that they just need to be shown. There's tons of other options that are a better deal, that they would be happier with, and they just don't know about. And people love a good deal. Let me tell you, people will buy things just because it's a good deal. So, one or two knives, it's not really, a great deal as far as like price goes. So, second thing for your mindset is people are always better off with a set of Cutco than just two or three knives. So people are always better off with a set of Cutco than just two or three pieces. So, um, they're going to save money. The the sets are discounted. The prices go up every 1 or 2 years on Cutcos. So like if they're buying two pieces a year and they're building up to a signature set, they're going to pay hundreds of dollars more. Understand that. So the slower you drop down, and the more you focus on getting them a set, the better off they are. And obviously you win in return, as far as like your paychecks go. Um, so, and understand like a set for me personally is 5 or more pieces plus 4 steak knives. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a block, because a block's not necessarily, it's great to sell a block set. But if you sell 5 knives, 4 steak knives, it's pretty much the same CPO as a essential set or a studio plus 4. So understand that, yeah, and sometimes a block is not necessarily, people don't want a block sometimes. I like them, as far as um storage goes, but not, it's not best for everybody. So not everybody wants one. The reason I kind of say that is because it's not that or 5 knives and 4 steak knives is very affordable for the average person. So for example, 5 knives and 4 table knives, we'll say, is basically, it probably ends up being like $600, and which on the 5 pay is like 125. So pretty much everybody can afford that. Even you guys, if you really wanted to, could afford $125 a month on a 5 pay. So understand everybody can afford a set of Cutco. That's just kind of a little tangent. But number 3, the higher you start, the higher you finish. So I'm sure you guys have heard that before, or heard that in training, but make sure that you are starting on the ultimate set or the signature set on your demo, and then you'll probably finish a lot higher. And then if they already own Cutco, make sure you build that wish list as high as you possibly can. Keep adding things on there and you'll finish higher. So having the right mindset is going to help you start higher, which in turn will help you end higher. I'll give you a few tips now to throw into your demo as far as some verbiage to use and just couple things to do. Um, like I said earlier, there's going to be tons and tons of people who are just like impatient and just ask you, hey, you know what? Um, Kevin, can I just get a couple pieces and wrap this thing up? And the reality is, like I said, it's yes, but there's probably a package that works for them. So something you can say is, yes, you for sure can. Is it cool if I show you some options that might be better for you that probably have the pieces that you like the most and would use the most? If those don't work for you, then we can look at something else, or we can look at just getting a few pieces. So let me rephrase that. So is it cool if I show you the smaller sets that probably have the pieces that you like the most? And if those don't work for you, you can always just get a few pieces. Is that okay? If they're somewhat of a, I guess, smart, respectful person, they will just say yes. If not, then they probably wouldn't have gotten that set anyways. So another way you can say that is you can definitely just buy one or two at a time. One thing I will tell you is that Cutco prices go up every 1 or 2 years. So if you plan on building the set over time, it could cost you a lot more. Do you mind if I show you one of our smaller packages that works for most of our customers in your situation? So if anybody's ever asking for like a few pieces, for me, it's kind of like, okay, well, let's at least get them to 5. And if we can get them to 5 pieces, then we could probably add on 4 steak knives or super shears, right? It's pretty simple. If they're interested in a few knives, this is like, don't be like, oh crap, they're only interested in a few knives. It's like, that's pretty awesome because, in that situation, everybody likes a good deal. So they're probably going to want at least 5 to get a deal on it. And then if they, they probably need the table knives. Even if they already have some decent steak knives, the table knives are an easy add-on. As far as that goes, hey, if add on the 4 table knives, I'll give you the peeler for free. It's only $50 extra or $40 extra per month on the 5 pay. So I'll just repeat that question again, or the saying again. So you can definitely buy 1 or 2 pieces at a time. One thing I will say is the prices go up every year or two. So if you're planning on building a set over time, it could cost you, or it's going to cost you a lot more. Do you mind if I show you some of the smaller packages that work for most of our customers in your situation? So, yeah, say that. The second tip I will give you is start with the signature set or the ultimate set on your clothes. I think there's like a part of the manual that tells you like exactly how to do this, but in training, we want to keep it as simple as possible for you guys and just, start on the homemaker. But with a couple just tweaks in verbiage, basically, all you really need to do is memorize the pricing on the signature set and the ultimate set, and then or write it down in your manual and show it to them first. Now, obviously, if you ask them at the beginning of the demo, hey, do you like to cook? And they're, or do you guys cook? And they're like, no, we don't really cook at all. It's like, probably not going to be an ultimate set type of person, but who knows? Maybe I've sold a lot of, signature sets to people who just cook a little bit. My mom, she doesn't cook that much, and or she's like a basic cook. They cook probably 4 times a week, but like it's super meat and potatoes kind of thing. And she's got a signature set. She loves it. So yeah, basically maybe, base it on the type of person at the beginning of the demo, just to not waste anybody's time. But so start with the signature set or the ultimate set, and the reason why that is, like I said, the higher you start, the higher you finish. So when you're dropping down from a signature to a homemaker plus 8 set, you're going signature with steak knives to a homemaker set with table knives. It's like $2,400 to $1,400. So it's a pretty big difference, right? Almost $500 a month to $280. It's like super, it makes it seem super affordable. So that's going to help with you finishing higher. Another thing, if they're already Cutco owners, just build a big wish list. So like, one thing I try to do, even if I know that they're probably not going to get it, I just throw some stuff that they showed somewhat interest in on the wish list, and just for fun, show them the price. So like, and sometimes they get it. So like, for example, since you show somebody like the flatware, and they're like, oh man, I could see getting that eventually, but definitely not right now. It's like, okay, well, I'm probably going to just show them the pricing on it, so that way they know, like, as a courtesy. And then another thing is, oh yeah, my daughter is getting married like next year. I could see yourself getting a set for her, but definitely not right now. But it's like, okay, well, I'm probably going to show them at least what it costs, plus the stuff that they like on their wish list. So when you're adding another $1,000 or $1,500 of stuff to their wish list and showing them, and basically what you just want to say is like, hey, you know what, just for fun, I wanted to show you this first option, with the flatware set on there. If you did this today, it's going to be like $2,500 normally. Today I could do it for 2,000, 5 payments of $400. And then below that, or your second option, would basically be like their wish list, like the stuff that they were most interested today, as far as that goes. And then you could drop down from there, and, simple question, it's like, okay, cool. What would you eliminate first? And a lot of times you can tell what they're most interested in. So, for example, if somebody already has like a trimmer and they have the Santoku trimmer, you can kind of lead them into, okay, could you live without the Santoku trimmer? Because you still have the trimmer. Great. Make the decision easy for them. Could you live without the 4 more table knives since you already have 8? Okay, cool. Like, just to get some things off of there and you don't want to make the customer think too much. Cool. So that is good on that. And then the third tip would be to drop down, then upsell to the original package. So I'll give you an example of what I mean with this. This morning, I had a customer on a service call. For those of you guys who don't know, once you get to like $10,000 or $15,000 in sales, you are allowed to do service calls. And so I went over to their house. I sharpened up all of their knives, and then I'm sending a couple things back to the factory for them. And then I just showed them some of the new stuff, and they basically were, before I even got to like showing them the new stuff, they were like, so today, I think I'm going to get the can opener. There was 2 knives as a gift for their sister-in-law, and then the cutting board. So they're like, I'm going to get the can opener, the cutting board, and those 2 things. And then they're pretty set on that. And this is before I showed them, really anything. I said, yep, hey, you can definitely get those things. Is it cool if I just show you the new stuff real quick? And then basically what I normally do with people is build their wish list. So not necessarily stuff you're going to buy today, but stuff that you see that you like, that you need, that you want, or that you'd ever want to get now or in the future. So just have fun with it. It's not like you're going to buy everything on the list. And then, if there's nothing else that you like, then we can just definitely get you those pieces. A lot of times there's, a few pieces that you can add in there, and then you can get a better deal on it when you add those. So, and then it's like, oh yeah, no big deal. So basically, even after, I showed her the new pieces, she was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to get those 4 pieces. So I was like, okay, cool. So here's, I kind of like She didn't even ask for the really like pricing on any of the other ones. So I just showed her what it was for the 4, and it was like easy close. It was like, okay, cool, wrap it up. And I was like, huh, that was like way too easy. So there was no questions, no objections. So a lot of times when there's no objections or anything, just know that they probably have more money to spend. Um, in this particular customer, they had a block with uh 5 knives in it and 4 table knives. So it was like the perfect customer to upgrade their set or just like fill in their block. You know, it's like it just makes sense to fill in their block now because they were going to do it at some point. So basically what I asked her, and I had figured out, I was like, you know, I had asked her on the appointment, like if you were to fill your block with 3 knives, what would they be after showing them? Um, so basically I asked her this question. I said, hey, just curious, you know, because you're getting this, the more you get, the more you save. If I just gave you like a super crazy deal on filling up your block, would you consider getting it today? She said, maybe. So, which is generally what most people say. So I just gave her a really awesome deal. And, you know, the CPO originally was probably like $200 and she was still getting a good deal. I was probably giving away too much stuff. But then the line one was like 289, and then the line one on the final order was like 624. So I probably went from 200 CPO to like 450, just in basically 60 seconds. So don't be afraid to ask them after you close, like, hey, you know what? I noticed that you were interested in, you know, those some of those other pieces. Um, if I were to just give you a super crazy deal on adding, you know, those 4 steak knives, you know, that super shears, um, filling up your block, would you consider getting it today? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let me show you what I can do. Call your manager, see what you can do, or just figure out with your bonus points. So that's all I got for you. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions.